Now the city of Minneapolis facing a more than $30 million budget gap. But before Mayor Jacob Fry reveals his budget plan next week, he's addressing the biggest problem with the city's accounting: police overtime. Kent Erdahl is here to break it down for us. Kent.
Yeah, the mayor admitted today that the amount of overtime that was budgeted for police coming into the year was nowhere close to reflecting reality. But he said that's been the case for years, and he says there's a big reason why. For context here, the city budgeted just $2.3 million for police overtime this year, but they are estimated to exceed that budget by nearly $23 million. Unplanned emergencies like the Annunciation shooting and Operation Metro Surge, well, they did contribute to that cost, but the mayor says staffing levels are a bigger factor. The city lost about 40% of its officers after the murder of George Floyd in 2020, and all those vacancies led to savings on the overall MPD budget that canceled out a spike in overtime. But in the past year, the mayor says police applications are up 200% and new hires have erased those savings. With that in mind, he's vowing that next year's budget will be more realistic about overtime costs.
I believe it was $2.5 million or so that was allocated for overtime. Was never a realistic figure. It wasn't even in the ballpark of what would be realistic. And so we've run calculations to determine what is necessary. We've also found ways to gain efficiencies.
And the mayor says he believes they can slightly reduce overtime spending based on how they prioritize shifts with the officers they've been able to add. But based on how much this was undercounted, it seems clear he's planning to call for a bigger police budget overall. But we'll have to wait for those numbers and details until he gives his budget address next week.
So Kent, a lot of overtime because no doubt they're understaffed, they say. I think fully equipped is just under 900, 888. Does the mayor have a number he hopes to reach this year?
Well, he said today that they're close to meeting the minimum staffing level of 730 in 2027. So somewhere below that right now, but he is optimistic that they're getting there fast.
All right, still a ways off. Kent, thank you.